that bad attitude because you didn't get this BBL and you think that this is what you really look like, and no, it's not. You were ugly at the beginning.
Now you look worse.
Next to the screaming baby behind you, wanted to jump on your back so bad.
When I was like 18, 19, and then I started hitting the gym, and I finally like gained a little butt, lost some weight, gained some weight.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Through with a Splash of Tea, a podcast where we either speak to brilliant people, do this thing one-on-one, or have best friend chats with my best friend T. I'm your host Cass, and let's get right into it. So today, we're joined by Maxiel and Lorna! All right, Max, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about BBL.
Yes! We're going to have the BBL chat. We're going to talk about everything BBL, what we think about them, how much they are, all the facts about them. Well, not all the facts, but we're going to start off with some facts because we can't just only give you guys our opinions. We got to talk about like some factual evidence. So in my research, I've found, ladies, well, let's start from the very beginning. What is a BBL? No, not everybody knows what a BBL is. So a BBL is a Brazilian butt lift, a cosmetic surgery procedure that enhances the shape and size of the butt by transferring fat from other areas of the body. Fat is removed from other areas of the body, such as the thighs, hips, lower back, or belly, and injected into the butt. So I also Googled what the average cost of a BBL is. And the average cost of a BBL is from $6,000 to $18,000, which is a pretty big range. In Massachusetts, the average cost is around $10,600 or $10,500. I'm sorry. Fact check. So after knowing all that, and most people go out of the country to do BBLs. A lot of people go to like Colombia, DR, Puerto Rico, a lot of places to get them, as a lot of us know. All right, now that we're done with all the factual stuff, I want to know what you guys think about BBLs. What are your thoughts? Would you ever get one? Do you know people that have gotten them? What do you think they'll be like in a few years? Tell me.
I've never thought about getting one.
Really? Never?
She's like, I already got enough of that.
I wouldn't. I think that a lot of people look crazy with them. Some of them are done very nicely, but a lot of them are done very poorly, and they look like chickens. Like they have skinny legs. Yeah, skinny legs, weird thighs, and then this big butt, and then they're really skinny, but their body it's not proportionate. Like you look stupid. Those people, like, no, some of them, they look really nice. But some just look really unreal, and it's horrible. And it's like, I feel bad, like, for the people that do it, because like they really have, to me, if you go and get it done, like a botched one, like it just not look good, it's just showing how much you dislike yourself. Like to me, that's how I feel. Some people, get it to enhance, but a lot of them get it because they don't like themselves. And it's just, I don't know. But
yeah, no, that is a good point. I think like you learn that if you don't like yourself, anything that you do to the exterior won't fix that. Exactly. It has to be internal. But before you learn that, you think that I can just change this thing, change that thing, change this thing, and then I like myself. So we haven't gotten to the point of like, one of the things I can just change is getting under the knife, because we grew up in a different era. But now these kids are, before they get to the point of realizing, it's an internal fix I need to do, they're like, I can just change this thing. That's why it's so dangerous, because like this is before you've matured into realizing that the exterior doesn't define you. Like, this is literally just a vessel, bro. Like, we're gonna put you in a freaking roach. Like, damn. Yeah,
every year.
And that's what, in younger women, that's what they don't understand. Like, your body's going to change. Your body's not always going to stay that way. As you get older and you grow, your body might get a bigger butt. You might get bigger boobs. You might get a slimmer waist. You just don't know. And you're already messing with your body at such a young age, 18, 19. And it's not good. Because, I don't know if I told you guys, but I was going to become a medical assistant. And I went to Mass General in the surgical unit. And on, I think, Thursdays, we did plastic surgery, like, a consultation for plastic surgery. And one girl, she came in, and I think she was like 18 or 19. Beautiful body. When I tell you, her body was beautiful girl, beautiful body. and she came in and her mom was paying for all of this. And I'm like, So she came in, she's telling the doctor what she wants. He's looking at her body, because I had to be in the room with him, for legal purposes. But I had to be in a room with him. And I'm like, just standing there, I'm like, oh my God, why does she want to change her body? Like, I would love to have a body like that, And he had her step out of the room and we talked. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do the surgery, because he felt like wrong to even touch her body, because her body was fine and she's still growing. She just turned like 18, 19. So it's just like, but her mom taking her to the doctor to get that done is just craziness to me.
That's wild.
And I think that's what happens too when you don't get to the state. This is what's so like scary though. I think that's what happens when you don't get to the state of realizing that like internally is what you need to fix in order to love yourself. So that also means that you can never get there. So you can go through life, never get there, procreate, also still never get there, and then teach your kids that the external is what matters because you don't know any better. Mm-hmm. Like, that's scary, because then you have kids, you're bringing your kids to the, and then doctors are like, I'm not doing this on this beautiful adolescent girl. I'm not doing this.
But y'all thought plastic surgery was like, oh yeah, come on, the more the merrier. I want the money. Yeah. But he was like, he's like, Lorna, what do you think? And I'm like, she has a beautiful body. She's a beautiful girl. Like, she's still growing. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna refuse it, which I was surprised because I didn't think that doctors would do that, but yeah, he refused her. Yeah,
I think that is good. I think that in any position, small tangent real quick. I think in any position, if it like conflicts you morally, I think you shouldn't do it. And a lot of the times in this country, we're so blinded by like, this is my job, this is my job, this is my job. Mm-hmm. If something conflicts you morally, like your humanity needs to step in. And I think that there's no larger depiction of that than the police force. Yep. Because you're always in situations where your job is conflicting with your humanity. Mm-hmm. And it's like, damn, like, why can't they just mesh? But because you're a public servant, like, they just don't mesh. But yeah. Back to BBL. So you've never thought about getting one? No? Have you thought about getting lipo?
Yeah, I've thought about that. And I'm like, because, again, working at MGH, the nurses and the medical assistants that were already there, they were like, oh Lorna, you should, because I was getting a breast reduction by the same doctor or whatever. And it was like, well, while you're under the knife, you could just do this, you could just do that, you could tweak. And I'm like, yeah, no, I just want my boobs smaller, Yeah,
I don't need all that extra stuff.
Yeah,
I'm good.
So, it is tempting, like, maybe I will look good doing this, or maybe, but it's just like, no, what if I die, under the knife? What if, something happens where, like, I'm not right, So it's just like, I'm too scary. I was scared doing my breast reduction, so it's just like that. And
it also is like your life, and that's kind of important, right? Because, like, that's true. Not enough people think about that either. Like, what if you die? Like, there's a lot of risk to it.
And then the people that don't have the money to pay for the BBL, and they go into a hotel room, the hotel rooms, and get shots of whatever it is. And
cement. There was literally a lady doing cement shots.
Yeah, and then people die. They die. And it's just like, why all that for nothing? Because now, you're dead, and you don't, like, the BBL didn't matter now because
everything you're gone.
Exactly.
Except that cement butt. Sorry, guys. Dark humor.
Yeah, but it's just
why
like,
are you going into a room and letting people inject random things into your body?
Like, yeah.
Like, it has to be comedic, because come on.
Tentacles all thrown everywhere. Like, is that sanitized?
Like,
I
what?
know. Just raw dogging it, no gloves, no nothing.
Like, what? Did you wash your hands?
I know.
What?
You just came out the bathroom. I don't feel no wetness to it. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But it's like they really have to get evaluated, because to me, like, someone that will really go inside of a hotel room and let somebody shoot something into their butt, and you don't know what it is. And then I've seen, like, the aftermath of, like, dented butts, and, like, you have scarring, it's discolored. And it's just like, you did all of that for what? And now you're back to square one, and it looks worse than it did before you got it done. But you were fine before you got it done, but then now you got this dent that never goes away, and you can't afford to pay for a BBL to do it the right way, because now you got to pay all this money because you have all these medical bills because you decided to go and do it the wrong way. And it's just sad. And it's like, in today's community, like just seeing everybody on TV, on the internet, with the big butts and the small waist and the big boobs and the lip injections and the everything. And it's just like, all these kids are looking up to them. And now they're like, oh yeah, I have to get that done. I have to get that done for somebody like me. And then you get all that done, and then the man still don't want to be with you. You're not feeling the way you thought you were gonna feel. Exactly.
Looking ass woman. No, I'm like, what is going on?
I know your man cheat on you with the big girl with the messed up wig, like, and you over here paying all this money for your body to get done.
It's always a messed up wig for you, huh? It's always a wig
with the holes in the shirt.
Like, ma'am, I could give you some shirts.
And the ashy ankles, But he cheated with that girl over there, and you got all this work done, and you just
the dirty feet.
I know, with the dirty feet,
You remember the story? The dirty feet.
The dirty
bitch, wash your feet.
Yes. And then you got all this work done, and you spend all this money, and now your man is cheating on you with somebody that looks totally different. And a lot of women are like, oh, you cheated with this girl, and you had this. It does not matter what you look like. If you're not a good, and that's the thing too. People with BBLs and they get their body done, then they feel as though they're better than everybody. So your attitude is the worst.
Some before
men don't want to deal with women with bad attitudes. Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, that bad attitude because you didn't got this BBL and you think that this is what you really look like, and no, it's not. You were ugly at the beginning.
Now you look worse.
Now you look okay. Like you're not there, but because you got all this work done, you think that you're like just the best. And it's just like your attitude changed, and now that man doesn't want to be bothered with that. The BBL rolls into other things.
And it can easily roll into other things, even if you're like, bro, I'm just gonna go under the knife and do this for myself. Like, I like the way that these girls look on social media. I want to do this for me. But you don't know what that really means, because a lot of the times it really doesn't mean you just want to do it for you. A lot of the times it's deeply rooted into something else.
Yeah.
So you haven't taken enough deep dive into that. So you just decide, I'm going to do this for me. You go under the knife, and then you don't know what the other side looks like, because all these girls on social media aren't sharing the other side. Mm-hmm. So they're not sharing the fact that they have to stay in that country for an extra 7 days and their body is sore and in pain and getting all these massages. They're not sharing the fact that when you fly home, you're not oftentimes sitting on your butt. You're kneeling, because you can't sit on your butt for the first few days or the first, I think, 10 or 2 weeks or something. Like, they're not sharing the soreness. They're not sharing the fajas. They're not sharing all that stuff because it's their personal stories, and they don't have to. But you haven't done enough research, because going under the knife is just going to fix your life.
Exactly. And then they think, like, okay. And then you look crazy on the plane, sitting, like, kneeling on the plane, and everybody's looking at you like, oh, yeah, she just got the BBL.
She just got the BBL. Seen that? I've never seen it in real life.
I've never seen it in real life. But you're looking at the girls that are able to get the private jets, or, the women that can fly first class, and they're more comfortable. Now you're sitting in coach, kneeling
next to the screaming baby behind you, wanting to jump on your back so bad,
bleeding all over the place, bleeding all over the place, because you decided that you wanted to be like the person that you saw on the internet that got way more money than you do, and probably didn't even pay for the BBL because they were given, like, that's promotion for the place that they got it done at. So they didn't even pay for it. But you're spending your hard-earned money to look like that girl. It's just like, why?
Come back home to your partner.
Yes, exactly. In the hood.
The baby's running around.
I know.
Taking the train.
What car was just repoed, baby?
With the roaches, like, come on.
You just spent 7 bands, 10 bands, 12 bands, 13 bands on a BBL.
You could have got that exterminator.
Okay, but
for those roaches, okay?
Yo.
The exterminator.
Okay, but what? Okay.
She might get it for free now that she has the BBL. She gotta.
That's where I'm going next. Okay, so what about the ladies that are like, all right, I'll just get the BBL and it pays for the future life that I want?
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Right.
But it's just like gambling.
It could be a hit or miss.
I'm gambling this $10K to hopefully pay for the future life that I want, to find the man to pay for the future life that I want.
But you got to have a plan. Like, you got to know, okay, this is, if I get this done, I can definitely get this person. Because a lot of men, you know, they want the big BBL, and all, but a lot of men don't want that. Like, it's a lot of men that don't want that.
Yeah, a lot of men tend to say they want natural women.
Yeah.
But a lot of men say they want natural women, but they're liking all the pictures of BBL models, da. So I think, which is we all know is very true. And I've been thinking about that for a few years. And I think I don't know if this is true, but I think it's fantasy versus reality. So I want to fantasize about that BBL body, that plastic model, that future thing. But what I want in my household, I want to be shaped like maybe my mom or my auntie or something like that.
I want someone that my kids can look up to. I might look at that, but I want someone that my daughter can look at and be like, okay, well, you know, that's my mom. This is, you know, what a woman is supposed to look like, or, you know, like a natural woman is supposed to look like. And then if you have that BBL girl, then you're going to have that daughter that's like, oh yeah, I want my butt done because mine isn't as big as my mother's, or isn't as big as, you know, this person. And, you know, you got to have, like, men don't want that for their kids. They want to look at it, but they don't want it for their kids.
Yeah. I think it's
or their daughters.
Fantasy versus reality, what you want in your household versus what you want to look at. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is so interesting because it's like
I want a man with abs, but reality, you know how hard that is to get? What?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Absolutely. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Interesting.
Because it's a lot of men that I look at that I'm like, ooh, that's nice, but what I want and what I have is something totally different. And I love what I have, but that's nice to look at. You know?
That's what you've got to be getting BBL.
Hell no.
No?
Never. Only because I'm scared of surgeries. Just thinking of the recovery, I can't do it. I can't do it.
And I know those massages hurt. I know supposedly it feels good, like at the end, but
at the end,
someone pushing all of that fluid out of you and stuff. No.
Yep.
I just don't like the tubes. Why are there tubes still?
Yeah.
There's tubes.
Yeah, you gotta have the tubes, and then you have the little bottle thing that it go all the.
I don't like that.
Oh no,
I don't like that.
Yeah. No, I don't have time for that.
All right. Well, I definitely have thought about getting BBL. I thought it was like a normal. Well, maybe not. Well, I definitely have thought about getting BBL, but what restricted me was a few things. One was a recovery. I'm not good with pain. Do not put me through pain. That's why anything I want to do, I want to be put to sleep. If I ever get trapped and a man claims I have his baby in my belly, first of all, he's lying. Secondly, I'm holding it for a friend. And thirdly, I need to be the first person put to sleep to have my baby because I don't like pain. And then another thing with the BBL, I knew.
Yeah. What is it?
I knew that even though I got it, my big bag tendencies wouldn't end. I would still be a big bag. I'm still getting Wendy's. I'm still getting Wingstop. Like and then I'm gonna have to buy another. That's $20,000 on BBLs. I'm forcing it.
That's a car.
That's a car.
Payment like on a house. Like, you know.
Like I can't do the BBL. Like no. Like come on, I got bills to pay. And then the last thing, which was my biggest thing, was the lack of the mental shift. I knew the reason that the big back energy would still stay is because I'm just changing the outer shell, but the mental would still be the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the only thing I was like, damn. Like, what if I just start skinny and then change the mental? It's not gonna work. I'm gonna start skinny. I'm gonna be on the beach, forget the mental, and then still eating, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which a lot of, now that transitions me into the next thing I want to talk about, which is a lot of girls will have to get multiple BBLs. Mm-hmm. Now, do you guys think that's necessarily a bad thing? Do you guys think, well, it doesn't matter because they're just going in the same whatever, like you're just doing the same surgery again? What do you guys think?
It's bad because it's like, just like you said, the mental, like you're still not going to fix what's going on. And it's just like, it rolls into more and more and more. Like, oh, okay, well, since I got the BBL, you know, I got a little extra chin, or, you know, I want to get that fixed, or, you know, my lips are not as big as, you know, they should be, or I think they should be. So I got to get that fixed. Then my cheeks, then my this, then my that. And it just continues and continues. And then you look plastic. You look crazy. And it's just like, why would you do that to yourself? Why? I just don't understand. And I see it every day we're on social media. You know, how people would just start with one thing, which is like usually the butt, and then go to the boobs, to the face, you know, to the arms, to the, you know, everything. And it's just like, you still are not going to feel good about yourself because you have not fixed the mental. Yeah.
That's what I did.
But everybody knows, like, okay, this is a quick fix. I don't have to go to the gym, because if I go to the doctor and get it lipoed or get a big butt, you know, I don't have to do those squats. I don't have to, you know, put in the work. You just get it done, and it's instant. And it's just like, it's not going to make you feel any better.
I feel like the more you get it done, though, it posts like a higher risk each time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Keep going under the knife. Keep going under the knife. And I think it's important when you said go to the gym, because it is like the mental shift that happens when you go to the gym is like out of this world. Yeah. Like, but not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people know that when you're going to the gym, like this, like literally when you're going to the gym and looking at yourself, trying to lift these weights above your head, and you're like, I cannot do this. It's heavier than the earth right now. I cannot do this. And you're pushing your feet into the ground, and you're like breathing really heavy, and you get those weights above your head. That just changes your reality. It works where your walls are. It pushes your walls out, because you're like, I'm not strong enough to do this. And in that very second, you disprove that. Yeah. That keeps happening and happening and happening. And then you're like, oh,
this is getting easier.
Yeah, this is getting easier and easier. Maybe other walls that I've created can be pushed out. Yep. Walls with finances, walls with my future goals. Well, what going to the gym does, it's crazy. It's the journey. Like, life is the journey, not the destination. The gym is the journey. Now, if you skip that journey, which you can with the BBL, that's fine. But
again, you're not growing internally.
Yeah, like we're lacking so much. Like we forgot so much. The journey was so important. The journey was so important. But like me, I've had the thought process of, why don't I just get to zero? If I was born skinny, I'd have been fine. I was born skinny, then I would have been fine. So a lot of girls, what about that? What if like, okay, I'm just getting to zero, and then I'll start the journey, and then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll look at myself and see myself do all that. What about that?
But what I do mind is when they start becoming influencers, because they're like, oh, this is how I got my body. Like, no, bitch, you got work done, okay? Don't lie to these people.
That's true. That's true. If you can't actually get to that point of getting the BBL, then starting your journey, why are we lying to people?
Like, I used to be a toothpick. I had no curves when I was like 18, 19, and then I started hitting the gym, and I finally like gained a little butt, you know, lost some weight, gained some weight. I've just been all over the place with my gym journey, but I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at.
And you enjoy it. Like, you enjoy going to the gym. But
sometimes.
That also
sometimes.
That also goes back to the point that Lorna made about the your body changing. You hadn't gotten your real body yet. Like, when you were a toothpick, you didn't develop yet. Like, you hadn't, like, girl, like,
you were a toothpick.
You hadn't developed yet, which is fine. Fine. I just don't want girls to feel like that's what they have to do in order to.
But it's like social media is never going to stop, because social media is just like it's brainwashing them. Yes, it's like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, because this is what this person is doing. They're popular, and I want to be popular, and this and this, and like your brain is not even really developed all the way either. Like, and it's just like you're so influenced by people that did not do the work, and you know. They get paid to promote that doctor that did their work, but you're working your 9 to 5 trying to save up all the money to get this BBL. And I feel so bad, like, for these people though. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
I feel like they don't know any better.
Yeah,
like they haven't had anybody tell them that there's other ways. Like, the external's just a shell, bro. Like, focus on the inside, you'll be fine.
Some therapy.
Yeah. That'll help, yeah.
All right. Anything you guys want to say to the people that are thinking of getting a BBL?
Don't do it.
Lorna. Okay, so you don't think there's any scenario where a BBL is appropriate? What about the person that gets it and then goes to the gym? What about that?
I've never seen it. So,
I've seen it many times in my gym.
I've seen it for like social media. Like they'll do it just for social media. Like, oh yeah, I'm in the gym. Never break a sweat, but they're in the gym, and then they go on and get their other surgeries. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, if you're gonna do it, find a good doctor.
Yes.
That will make it look natural. Because a lot of women get it done and they look so botched.
Don't get the big hips, and it does not fit your body. You have the chicken legs, big hips, and a big butt. You look stupid.
And if you go to the gym, I'm going to tell you now, your legs, your thighs will not grow as fast as you think they will, okay? Mm-hmm. Thighs are the biggest thing to grow. They're the hardest thing to grow.
But if you are going to go to the gym after your BBL, I would focus very deeply on my hamstrings, because it doesn't make sense if it's like nothing, no sticks, and then a butt. We need to work on the sticks.
Looking like a capital P. Like
it doesn't. But you wouldn't have that issue if you focused on the fact that less is more. Ladies, if you're gonna do BBL, do it. You thought about it, you really deeply want to do it, do it. Just remember, less is more.
Yes. A natural butt, like, oh my God, is that a BBL? Is that not a BBL? Yeah. Like, I'll be wondering, like, But then some you like, oh yeah,
there's no question.
Yeah, but some of them like, oh my God, that's so it's nice. I'm not gonna say all of them are bad, because a lot of them are nice, and I'm like, that really fits your body, and that's all they wanted. They wanted something subtle. They didn't want the exaggerated butt. They didn't want the exaggerated hips, But then some go to the extreme, and it just makes it just horrible.
I've always said, if God gave me boobs, I would be a menace to society. So I get it. If you want to get that BBL, get it. Just make it subtle.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. If I had a butt, I'd be twerking all the time. Like
twerk every time you talk.
That's why God was like, "I'll give you big boobs and no butt." This is what you get. Yeah.
All right, ladies, we gotta close out and end this episode. So thank you for coming. Like I always say, I love you guys coming here, and you guys have to keep coming.
We love being here.
Yes. It's so much fun.
Yay! And viewers, thank you for watching if you watched. Thanks for listening if you listened. Through with a Splash of Tea can be caught every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on all streaming platforms, including YouTube. Bye now.